Superman fans, to your speeding bulletin for the week 28th of September to October 4th, 2012. A week which saw Man of Steel comments from David Goyer, a new episode of Young Justice Invasion, and the long-awaited return of the Ask Matt fan forum. Let's get into it. In movie news, Italian website badtaste.it caught up with screenwriter David Goyer at the Rome Fiction Fest recently, where he was promoting his new series Da Vinci's Demons. They also asked him about his approach to writing films like Man of Steel. From our translation of the Italian text, he said, "What we did, myself and Christopher Nolan, was to try and bring in the same naturalistic approach we brought to the Batman trilogy. It's always a naturalistic, realistic approach that we're looking for, to imagine these stories as if they could happen in the same world in which we live." MTV caught up with Ben Affleck to promote his latest project Argo, and also asked him about those rumours that he was approached to direct a Justice League movie.
It'd be crazy not to make Justice League, and I'm sure they will. It got attributed to me. I guess I should be flattered, because, and I'm sure it will be cool. I know I've seen some of the stuff from the new Superman movie, and the teasers, and that stuff is awesome. I think they took like a really cool approach, the real approach, you know what I mean, with Superman that no one's done before. So if that trend continues, I'm sure Justice League will be great. But
you can watch the full interview at mtv.com. At a special press event on Wednesday, Warner Brothers announced the May 2013 release of the Best of Warner Brothers Superman TV collection as part of its impressive 90th anniversary celebration slate. The Best of Warner Brothers Superman TV collection will include 9 live-action TV and animated TV Superman shows. No further details are available as yet. Superman homepage writer Isaac Frisby has updated our Young Justice animated series episode guide with a summary of the most recent Season 2 episode, Satisfaction. Isaac also wrote his review of this episode, giving it a 3 out of 5 score, saying, "This was not that great of an introduction back into the series after the hiatus." Cartoon Network and DC Entertainment released the episode description for Darkest, the upcoming new episode of Young Justice Invasion. In this episode, Aqualad's loyalty is tested with a mission set up by his father. Darkest airs on Saturday, October 6th at 10:30 AM on Cartoon Network. WorldsFinestOnline.com spoke with Young Justice Invasion producer Brandon Vietti to get some inside information on what we can expect from the remainder of the second season of the animated series airing on Cartoon Network. As for the thought process behind the whole 5-year jump, he said, "We felt it was important in a series about growing up that we actually show our characters grow up. You can't do that in the course of a few months or even 1 year of storyline." Cartoon Network and DC Entertainment released a promotional image and preview clip for JL Animals, a hilarious take on the Justice League where animal versions of classic DC heroes show off their wild sides while facing trouble on the farm. We'll let you know when the first JL Animals short is scheduled to air on Cartoon Network. From power-hungry aliens to diabolical masterminds, DC Entertainment brings the best of the bad with the launch of a new DC Comics supervillains program. The program is geared towards fans of all ages, and throughout October will involve activities and events that include DC Nation, New York Comic Con, a lucky fan sweepstakes, a frightful fan favourite DVD release, and more. Check out dccomics.com for the full list of events. This is no fantasy, no careless product of wild imagination. No, my good friends, the Superman homepage Ask Matt fan forum has indeed been updated. The Superman homepage gives you the chance to ask Matt Idelson, DC Comics editor of the Superman comic books, your questions about the Superman comics. Come to the site now to see what Matt had to say to questions put to him by fellow Superman fans in recent months, especially in regards to the Lois and Clark situation. Superman comic books we reviewed this week included Superman Zero, which was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who said, "This issue turned out to be pretty good," and he gave it a 4 out of 5. Sean Morrissey reviewed Teen Titans Zero, calling it a fairly decent outing, and he gave it a 3 out of 5. Superman Beyond number 8 was also reviewed by Sean, who gave it a 4 out of 5, saying, "Ultimately this is a predictable entry in the story." Mark Pritchard reviewed Smallville Season 11 Chapter 18, giving it a lowly 1 out of 5. Mark also reviewed Superman Family Adventures number 5, saying, "The luster has started to come off this title," and he rated it a 3 out of 5. Superman comics available this week from October 3rd include Amy Comic Girls number 4 digital comic has been available since October 1st. Craftsman Bolt-On System Saves the Justice League number 1 is a free digital comic, also available October 1st. Action Comics number 13 is available in a variant cover, a digital combo pack, and a black and white variant cover. Smallville Season 11 number 6, Superman Batman Sorcerer Kings trade paperback, and Justice League of America Rise of Eclipso trade paperback.
It's time to organize your Superman, Supergirl, and Super Pet costumes and accessories for Halloween. How about picking up this Ruby's Adult Superman costume, available from as little as $29.99, or grab yourself a Secret Wishes Supergirl costume for just $35. These and other great Halloween costumes are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman Homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop.
Now, the new Superman Return star Brandon Routh will be joined by Smallville actors Michael Shanks and Michael Hogan as celebrity guests attending the 2012 Reunion Stellaire convention in Quebec, Canada, across October 26th to 28th. Visit the official website for full details. Artist Jim Lee is overseeing the creative direction of 8 individually customised and characterised superhero vehicles to be unveiled at major events around the country over the next 10 months. As Kia Motors and DC Entertainment team up to raise awareness and funds for the devastating hunger crisis in the Horn of Africa. Check out wecanbeheroes.org for further details. DC Comics has filed a lawsuit against a barbershop in Orange County, Florida, over the illegal use of the Superman logo. DC Comics is suing Reginald Jones, the owner of Superman Fades to Froze, and wants the barbershop to stop using the name and the logo. While people in the local community aren't impressed, it seems to me to be a pretty open and shut case, with the barbershop clearly using the famous S-shield in their signage. The Superman homepage Super Trivia quiz has been updated for another month. This time around, the 3 questions we're asking you are: what is the name of the group of adolescent Cadmus clones who befriend Jimmy Olsen in the comic books? In the 1966 Broadway musical It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman, Superman comes up against a group of Chinese villains who are experts in what profession? And what Kryptonian guild did Superman join when he moved to New Krypton in the 2009 comic book saga? Come to the website now to submit your answers. That's all the Superman news there was for the week September 28th to October 4th. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V and thanks for watching. You know, in recent years there have been a number of comic book movies just flooding the system, just coming out, continuing to be released, continuing to be made, continuing to be talked about. There are endless rumors about new superheroes. There's Ant-Man coming soon. Ant-Man! Ant-Man! I'm actually very excited because I love comic book movies. I love superheroes. I love seeing any superhero or almost superhero. You know, I love the Kick-Ass movie. I didn't like Catwoman. But to see these movies just keep coming, and then I hear people saying, you know, is it washed up? Is it over? Is there going to be no more? Should they stop? Is it too many? You know, how much is too many? When is it enough? You know, do we have to keep seeing these kind? Now, of course, the people who don't want to see them are comic book fans and probably wouldn't mind if they stopped. But I want them to keep making them, you know, as long as they're good, and as long as there's quality to them, and as long as they stop making ones like Catwoman. But I wanted to talk specifically about the honor. Myself as an actor, albeit not as successful as I would like to be, what I would personally feel were I cast as one of these superheroes, especially Superman, of course. Being you're watching this on the Superman homepage, and you're probably a fan of Superman if you're watching this in the first place. If I were to be asked to be cast, there might be some feeling of, you know, will this typecast me, or, you know, am I going to be only remembered as Superman? But it wouldn't be a concern in terms of how I would move forward with accepting the project or not. I can understand that actors want to have diversity. They want to continue to have work even after the Superman or superhero part of their career is over. But too many times you know, for my money, am I hearing actors, even directors, who are supposed to be making these movies, kind of talk in a way that doesn't sound like they even really respect or like the source material. You know, most recently, Nolan and Bale made the Batman films, which, you know, I've already made clear I certainly don't see the hype that everybody else sees, but that's okay. I'm on the outside. Everybody else, you know, I'm looking in. I'm wishing that I could get it. But both of them have made clear that they really don't like some of the source material. Now, some of the source material. We don't all like every single story that comes out about Superman. We don't all like every single character, but Robin is an integral part, has always been an integral part, whether it's Dick Grayson, whether it's Stephanie Brown, whether it's Tim Drake, you know, Jason Todd. Robin is just, I mean, he's always kind of been there, and he's very integral to the character. It's a big part of the mythos, and to have, you know, guys say, you know, he just doesn't fit in my idea of the universe, he just doesn't fit with my concept of the character, is kind of disrespectful in my opinion. And it's odd that a guy would be chosen to be the director who doesn't like the characters that are in the universe, who wants to kind of make his own thing. No, Batman only fights people that I could see him, you know, being up against. And Bale said, I won't be in a movie if Robin is in it, so we're not going to have Robin. Again, you're the actor. It's not your job to tell us what you're going to be in, unless you just, you know, turn down the project. But I mean, but we tell you what it's going to be. And here I am talking badly about them again, but I love the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, and he was similar in that he continued to talk about how, in my memory, maybe I'm wrong, how he didn't want to be connected with Spider-Man for the rest of his career. Too late, since he's done pretty much nothing else that anyone has recognized. And I know people will write me and say he had a couple of Oscar contenders or whatever, but I mean, is he a big giant superstar? Is he in lots of movies? Do you see him all the time? I certainly don't. And now I look at, you know, Toby and, you know, and the people in that movie, and I say, too bad you had to pick it, you know, and say you're not getting paid enough because now there's a new Spider-Man and your gig's over, and what else were you doing anyway? And to me, it's an extreme honor to be playing I would be jumping up and down as an actor to be playing Spider-Man. And, you know, I know I'm no Tobey Maguire. I don't have even the success level that, you know, any actor's name that you would even know has. But I just think that to look at it in that fashion, and then that brings me to, you know, the people cast in the new Man of Steel movie. They've all been saying great things. And obviously, when you're cast in a movie and you're doing press for it and you want it to do well, you're not going to be like, well, this sucks. And that's why it comes to, you know, people who are already involved and who aren't going to be fired and who aren't going to be replaced, like Bale or Tobey Maguire or whatever. Although Tobey Maguire, the entire cast, the director, the writers were all replaced for the Spider-Man movies. You would think they wouldn't be because it was so successful, but look, if you push too hard back against the character and the company that are giving you your job, eventually I think things can go wrong. And I think that the Spider-Man franchise is a perfect example of how things went wrong because maybe the people involved with it weren't as passionate as they should be. Henry Cavill recently said, when people asked why people seem to have a hard time with Superman or people seem to complain about Superman, that what he said was, I don't think people know the character well enough. He's a very interesting character because he's always trying to do the right thing. Doesn't necessarily make him boring. He's conflicted in his own ways, and I'm speaking just strictly from the source material when it comes from the comic books. This is a guy who read lots of comic books. He said it many times. He collected comic books. The Death storyline was one of his favorites, and he read them. He read Red Sun. He read these things to try and get a feeling of who this character was and understand who he was, and he cared enough to want to understand, and he seemed respectful of the comic books. Further, he said, what Superman has to go through is enormously difficult. If people really think about what it would be like, you'd realize that there's a lot more to him than being a good guy. A lot more. There's a lot to the man. When people say it's tough to make him interesting, they just need to read some of the right stuff, and they'll see there's a lot of very interesting things going on in that guy's head. And when he was asked how it felt to be playing such an iconic character, he said it's a wonderful feeling, and certainly there's an aspect of it that I could feel to be an enormous amount of pressure, which could end up affecting me. But if I try to focus on more the honor of it and the excitement of being the person who was chosen to take up the mantle, it's a wonderful opportunity, it's exciting, and it's so much fun. These are the kind of responses you should get, especially from a guy playing Superman or Spider-Man, big iconic characters that have that universal appeal and are so, it's such an honor to be playing, in my opinion. And I think you found the right guy with Henry Cavill, if he's going to say things along that line. That's how you should feel. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember, always look up in the sky.